Hey everybody and anybody possibly. So I don't know how to start this video, but it's not, a scripted video. It's not one of those videos that I have written down, which it was supposed to be. Um Fun fact, I guess. Originally this video that you are listening to right now was supposed to be one of those scripted ones, one of those that I have a script for that I read. I was doing a research on one of the things that I wanted to just talk about for a bit, which is double jump in video games. There's videos on that already on YouTube, and I'm aware of that. None of those videos are from me, so that's the reason. But more importantly, I was playing the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I don't know why is that game named like that. Such a long fucking title. Anyway, I have never actually played through the game. I don't like Souls kind of games, and this is that. It's much more casual, I would say. Much more story driven and much more cutscene than any Dark Souls or any other game like that, I think. But in general, I don't like games like this. I have always had a big aversion to games that are designed to make you mad and angry and die a lot and all these things. And that's why I don't play them usually. However, I wanted to play this game because, well, the new Jedi Survivor, I think it's called, that new one is coming out this month, and basically I just wanted to play through it, and I wanted to see how it ends, basically, so I can play the next one. Which is why I didn't know that this game has double jump in it, and this is basically like literally the origin of why I decided to ultimately drop the idea and instead talk about it, just freestyle like this. So in that game, in Fallen Order, you basically have a lot of different ways of going around. It's very narrow pathed. Basically, it's not like a free roam kind of game. It's not like open world. It's like one of those games that make you think it's open world, but the where you can go is very specific. You can't just fly around. I would say games like Cyberpunk, for example, is open world. Legend of Zelda, how is the new one called? Fuck, I forget this. On Switch, Breath of the Wild. That's open world because you literally can walk practically everywhere you want, like anywhere on the map, which this game is not at all. Anyway, if you want to get anywhere on the map, usually there's gonna be a bunch of obstacles in the way, and the game has in-game mechanics that let you, you can wall. I don't want to say wall ride, but it's not a ride. You're just doing this parkour thing where you wall run, I guess, right? You run on the wall basically for a short period. I don't know if that's even a thing you can do, probably. So there are things like that in the game. You can climb up specific kinds of walls. You can run on other specific kinds of walls. And then you can double jump. And this feature, I don't know how far along of the game I am. I would say maybe the middle, maybe a little bit less than the middle, maybe a little bit more than the middle, I'm not sure. Anyway, I think for where I am in the story, the double jump didn't come very early. Like, I think if I knew the double jump is in the game back when the game came out, I would play it. I would probably finish it because I love double jump in games. I obviously have double jump in Cyberpunk, which is probably one of the best features of the game, like in terms of just movement. A lot of other games have double jump. I remember playing Devil May Cry and other hack and slashers usually have double jumps, God of War, all these different games that are not going for realism, but they are going for, I guess, fun. I don't even, there's probably a better way of putting it, but that's basically what that's about, is to get fun out of, get a fun factor out of the video game. If you play games, usually when you play multiplayer games, you don't have double jump. There's exceptions to this, obviously. I think Team Fortress 2 had a double jump, and Overwatch and Overwatch 2 has double jump on like I think on 2 characters, maybe just Genji, I'm not sure. I remember there's a lot of games that have double jump, but usually they are not multiplayer games. But yes, some of them do have it. The point is that usually when you have double jump in a game, it's very interesting to me, because when you include double jump in a video game, very often, 95% of the time, you do this thing where you sacrifice certain level of realism, if you're going for realism, for the fun, for the entertainment value, for the gameplay value, something that is nice, that feels nice to play, right? And double jump seems to be just on the way top, if not the first thing, way top of the list, that automatically makes the game more fun. Maybe that's just me, I'm not sure. Literally maybe people hate it and I'm the only one. But I doubt it, because I really think that every time I played a game with a double jump, I literally instantly felt like I have more room, I have more options, no matter how closed up the game is. For example, Fallen Order is a very closed up game, like I said, but now that I got the double jump, I feel already like more at ease with like exploring, because double jump just makes exploring any map so much better. And that was supposed to be the scripted video, right? I wanted to talk about that because I feel like that's a really interesting concept. It's I don't know, think about how just double jump actually makes you want to try to reach different places on a map. And I mean, I was kind of always, when it comes to open world games, I always loved the concept, and Cyberpunk is amazing with this, by the way, especially in the early days when it was all bugged out. I loved just double jump around the map, and double jump was really broken at the launch of the game, by the way, so you would have died a lot when you played the game and you double jumped on a weird surface, and then you would literally just instantly die. That was really fun. And but now it's a little bit more fixed, so now it works, so you don't die anymore, but there are still bugs. I don't think that game is ever gonna be really not buggy. It's much less now, by the way. It's a really great game and I should play it, but it's not bug free. I don't know. Yeah, they are probably not gonna fix everything. Uh, anyway, when you double jump in that game, alongside with the feature that basically if you get on a certain point of a ledge, of any ledge basically, you can play the animation of getting pulled up on that ledge, and you can reach a lot of places combining double jump with this as well, which means that you can often get to places that were just not meant for you, and that's just the most fun for me that I can have in open world games. And yeah, I mean, that was supposed to be the video. And you may be thinking right about now, because we are like 10 minutes in the video, and this is the non-scripted version, so the scripted version will be maybe like 5 minutes in. And maybe you're thinking, well, okay, well, that's true, or maybe you are thinking that's not true. Either way, so what? Like, where will we go from there? Because again, this point was probably already made by a lot of people on YouTube. Much better sounding, with better microphone, with better video, right? Because I'm just recording voice right now, so I'm guessing it's gonna be like gameplay in the background. It's not gonna be like nice video, illustrated video, right? It's just gonna be a fucking video game playing in the background and you listening to me for some reason. So what's the point? And that's kind of why I dropped the scripted thing, because I realized throughout, like, I was researching this, how many games have double jump, and it's a lot. And I was thinking like, well, okay, I have concept, but the concept doesn't go anywhere further, then double jump just makes games better, and there's a lot of games that have double jump in it, and when you play something like fucking Escape from Tarkov, you're probably not gonna expect double jump in that game because it's not realistic, but if you play a single player game that has double jump in it, automatically, most of the time, it's just gonna be a better video game. Depends on the game. But that's it, that's the video, right? And there's something else to really say about that. That's why I dropped the formula, but why I'm here today talking about this is that there's a larger picture that I actually want to talk about, and I don't want that scripted because I don't think I can write it better than I can say it right now. Um, Basically, I talked about this in the last video I made like this, non-scripted, which was the Resident Evil 4 rant I made. By the way, that video for some reason got like 100 views, which I literally don't get views on videos like this ever. Like, only thing I ever get views on is shorts. That's not me complaining, that's just literally facts, so it's curious that people watch that. It's probably just because Resident Evil 4 got played by a lot of people recently, so it's like an active community or active topic, so I guess that's why. Anyway, I will go through whatever, if there's any comments or whatever, I will go through that at some point. I don't have the time to fucking do that every day. Anyway, in that video, I'm talking about problems because it's a fucking rant, so I'm talking about something that bothered me. But I'm talking about the fact that I played that game on the easiest difficulty. And again, I don't know if anybody talked about it, if anybody commented about that, but I still feel like every time you say that, or just, I don't know, like every time somebody could always bring it up as a, like, you know, like something bad, like, oh, you are not a real gamer or something like that, which I don't mind, like, if that's your opinion. I don't mind the way you play games, so you can just leave me alone. But this is not about that. It's more about why I do that, right? And in the video, I am explaining that I am not usually, when I play single player games, usually there's very few exceptions that I can talk about in different times. But right now, usually I prefer to play single player games on the easiest difficulties because I am not looking for repeating constantly one level just to feel, you know, just to feel accomplished when I finish it. I don't feel accomplishment that way, usually in the games. I get it, I understand completely when people do, and I'm not shaming it or anything like that, but I don't feel that way. I just feel very frustrated a lot of the times when I have to die 5 times to the same thing, because it's unfair in my opinion, and then finally finish it and move on. And that's not my thing. That's not like something I enjoy games for. I enjoy easy fucking time. I enjoy clicking the same button 15 times and feeling like a god, you could say. I enjoy that. I'm sorry if that fucking offends you, if I'm not enjoying your favorite video game enough or something, but hey, that's just how I will play games. And this game I also play on the easiest difficulty, the Fallen Order, and that was something that gave me the pause, because I'm playing all these games on the easiest difficulty. One exception that I can actually talk about right now very briefly is Cyberpunk. I finished that game on the hardest difficulty. The only reason for that is that if you play stealth build on the highest difficulty in Cyberpunk, there is no difference. I basically did it for the achievement, because there is just really nothing, like, you know, like, if you are playing any other way in Cyberpunk on the hardest difficulty, it's probably a really hard game to play. I don't know, but I would imagine you just take a lot of damage and people are more of a damage sponges. That's how I've seen it so far. If you play stealth build, everybody is one shot, so it doesn't matter. So when I play games on easiest difficulty, I feel like usually I am the main character for a reason. When I play Fallen Order, when I play whatever I think I played Dead Space on the easiest difficulty too. I'm not sure now, but yeah, actually I'm pretty sure. Uh, and the reasons for that, I played, also the Resident Evil games on the easiest difficulty. The reason for that is that I think that if you play, let's say you play God of War Ragnarok, right? And you are playing on the easiest difficulty. There's going to be times where if you compare your experience to that game on easiest difficulty versus the hardest difficulty in the game, you will notice that you may be having time of your life on the hardest difficulty, right? But you will still see that if you are like kind of trying to immerse yourself in the main character, right? You're Kratos, you're this human basically. You're a human, but you are a god, which is the point of the lore. Uh, so you are like this super fucking strong person, even though you are still human. And if you are, approaching, I don't know, a completely regular bad guy, right? Like in the game, you have like human enemies and you have like these magical beings, all these things. If you approach a regular mob in God of War and you're playing on the hardest difficulty, even these things can cause you a lot of problems. Even these mobs can kill you. And I just don't find it like just satisfying enough, the fact that Kratos, this big guy that have literally killed so many other gods before, is now dying to this random thing in, wherever they are. It's just like that's something that bothers me with games, or like it doesn't bother me as much as like it bothers me when people are not willing to get it, that you are playing these games, you know, certain way for your own certain feeling and entertainment, right? It's all about you. When it's the story you are going for, uh, you will probably choose the easiest difficulty. If you want the challenge of the game, there should be the alternative way of playing the game. And if you're one of those people that just want to combine it, if you're one of those people that play on the hardest difficulty for the first time every game, it's great. You like I'm assuming you have fun doing that, because if you don't have fun doing that, then why would you do it? So that's how you like to enjoy it. But for me, the enjoyment comes from the fact that I know I'm the main character of this video game. I'm playing through a story with this character that's the main character of the story, and I want to feel superior. I want to feel, that's the point. Like most of the games that I can remember right now, you are the main character because you're supposed to, canonically, you're supposed to survive up until, like, say the main character dies. The main character dies in a cutscene. Like none of the deaths that are happening because you fucked up something and you died in the game, to a mob or something. None of these deaths are canonical, right? That's why you respawn. That's why game over, respawn on the nearest checkpoint. I guess unless you are playing these hardcore modes, like none of these deaths are actually story deaths. They are deaths that are caused by the player, and that in itself, right? It makes sense that the character wouldn't die to these things. So it's your fault, it's not the character. And at that point, that's where I guess maybe my opinion on this just differs, because I feel like if that's the case, then why like would I go through hours, or I don't know, like why would I go through a single level in Dark Souls or Bloodborne or whatever? Why would I spend on one level like an hour just to beat a boss? Again, assuming I'm playing to for the story, right? Like I get Souls games are about the hardcore feeling, about like just beating the most difficult things. But if I ever played a Dark Souls game, I would do it because I wanna know the story, and I'm not gonna go through the story knowing that I died 15 times to that thing until I finally respond with enough experience to beat it. It just doesn't seem fair, lore wise, I guess. Doesn't seem fair to that other thing. And for me, it just feels shit because I wasn't able to defeat it 20 times or 15 times or something. Like, yeah, that's just, I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't, like to think about. I don't know. I think there's a lot of hostility in gaming, which like I don't feel it. Like I'm not saying I felt fucking I felt threatened by people or something. Like I don't feel like it, but I'm just saying like uh the enjoyment for a lot of people probably comes from different things, and like this self-torture, that's how it feels like. This like self-hatred, like you are gonna push yourself through a level no matter what. Uh, that usually comes from games like, you have Dark Souls, you have Sekiro, I think. There's so many games now, right? There's so many games that do this. Just that's what they're called, the Souls games, I'm pretty sure. Like these types of games are just not very friendly to your mental health, it feels like. I know that there's a lot of fun in it. I've seen, a lot of clips from a lot of different games like this, and I know there's a lot of satisfaction when you can finish the games on the hardest difficulty, and I'm not denying that, but that was one of the segues that I would have probably done in the video, and that video is not gonna happen anymore. It's just that double jump, and there's other features, right? There's a lot of other things. There is one of the more controversial things is trainers, right? Like cheating programs for single player games. That's another thing that a lot of people like kind of look down upon, I think, because I don't know. I think they associate it with like, cheating in multiplayer games, which is obviously shit thing to do. It's like similarly to that, right? Like if you just are fed up with a game, the single player game that you are playing, I don't feel any problem like with just like modding, right? Like nobody really inherently, nobody has problems with modding any game. Skyrim, Fallout, there's a lot of games that you can mod. There's so many games today that you can mod. Maybe every game you can mod, I don't know. I modded myself Red Dead 2 a lot. I never gave myself any like, infinite health and all these things, but it's totally like up to you. If you like, I didn't do that because my thing is the immersion factor, right? And in Red Dead, luckily there is no difficulty settings. There's only one, there's only one thing that you just play the game, and the difficulty is the difficulty that you get, which by the way is not very hard at all. But the point is, just like these things that are in games very often, like these mechanics like double jump, they are suspending your disbelief, right? They are supposed to bring out like more flexibility when it comes to gameplay, and it's supposed to sacrifice you sort of like, you know uh, justifying how my main character is doing that, because you don't want to think about it, because like you shouldn't think about it. That feature is not there for you to justify it. Many games would have you even like believe double jump exists, because there's a lot of things like in Cyberpunk I could believe there's somehow a way to do it, even though there's just physics, you can't. It's not a thing. Not the way that they show it. I'm sure in real life there's some way of doing it, like some shoes with fucking rockets on it, I don't know. I'm sure there's a way of doing double jump, but double jump, like what's double jump basically, right, is that you jump and then you jump again from the air as if it was ground, basically. That's the idea, and that in real life cannot be done. Uh, in a lot of games, that's exactly how it works. And I love the concept. I think I've never not enjoyed like a video game that had a double jump in it. And yeah, that really made me think about like why is that, right? I think it's really just that it makes you feel, because you don't see double jumping anything else in the video game. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a video game yet that had NPCs double jumping. It's always just you, because you're the player, you're the main character of the story, and you're the player, and you should have features that nobody else has access to. And one of the features should be that you're invincible. Like, invincibility is a really big issue, because then what's the point of playing the game? You should have a challenge in front of yourself. I don't mean invincible like that. It's more of a if I want to deal with an enemy or group of enemies in one way or the other, I should be able to. And they shouldn't put up too much resistance as for me like to not be able to proceed with my plan. Yeah, right? So that's basically what I'm saying, is that like I don't want to just be, you know, aimbotting in single player games to make myself feel better. I'm more so just saying that if I want if I want to use cheat codes, but if I just want to uh, literally one shot an NPC with my lightsaber or with my gun or anything, with my knife, throwing knife or whatever, like if I want to do that in games, I think like it's not only that it's a reasonable thing to do or to like play games in general, but also I think that a lot of people who play games on the hardest difficulties and never do it any other way should seriously try it once, because uh, I think those people just think they will be bored, but I think if you give it an honest try and you don't just do it just to prove everybody else that it's waste of time, if you honestly play a game, say open a Cyberpunk and go a new game and go through the entire game, and I mean entire game, not just fucking, main quests or something, but go through all of the game, uh, doing whatever you want, any build you want, do any crazy thing you want, just do it on the easiest difficulty, and I think you will have better time. Maybe not by much, maybe you just, if you're that kind of person who likes to, you know, plan out things and like be very careful, right? Like I said, like a lot of people who play Tarkov are probably like this, right? Like they enjoy the thrill of being maybe killed. Uh, and I get that. But I think if you change, if you just try it out, if you honestly just try it, and you play a video game that gives you free reign of anything. If you play it on the easiest difficulty, uh, I think a lot of people would have better time. So I think that's it. I guess I'm an advocate for casual play now. I don't know. It's interesting because I always looked at that as some kind of like weakness or something, or just, oh, now you give up on being a good gamer, now you are a casual player. Maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't say so, but maybe that's what I'm now, that's where I'm heading, I don't know. I think that proving myself over and over that I still have it, over uh, just enjoying genuinely the time I have with the video game, it feels better that way. It feels better when I don't have to constantly, oh look guys, I have an achievement. Let me tweet it. I have an achievement for the hardest difficulty in a video game. And I don't know, like, if that gives you the satisfaction that I get from playing the easiest difficulty in games, then that's great, but I just think my satisfaction comes much easier. So, yeah. Didn't mean for this to be 30 minutes long. Genuinely. I never plan on it, but kinda happens. So, thanks for listening to me, and yeah, I will see you in hopefully better video next time. Bye.